I'm Tamsin Fidel. Let's get back to it.
Are you saying that you're going to start dressing up like a lady all the time?
No, honey, all my life. My whole life I've been dressing up like a man. This is me.
Remember the show Transparent from a few years back on Amazon Prime? The story of a dysfunctional family and how their lives change when they find out their dad is a trans woman. Now, Transparent has been made into a brand new musical.
Paul's here with the story.
That's right, Tamsin. Transparent is coming to the stage featuring a true trailblazer. RuPaul's Drag Race favorite, Peppermint, will return to the boards when the new musical starts performances at the Mark Taper Forum in Los Angeles this month. We met up at the Star Child rooftop at the Civilian to find out more. Peppermint, so good to see you.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be here at this table with you.
You know, I first met you 5 years ago. You were on Broadway. 5 years ago, you made your Broadway debut. Head Over Heels, 5 years. I mean, a whole pandemic happened.
Yeah, that took us some time. We were a little busy, or not.
Transparent is a groundbreaking show, and you are a groundbreaking performer. This is a perfect match. So when Head Over Heels opened, you were the first openly trans actress to originate a leading role in a Broadway musical. Did I get it right?
Yeah. And I want to make space for Justin Vivian Bond, who performed on Broadway as Kiki.
Absolutely. Which
was such a wonderful show. It was a groundbreaking moment and a history-making moment for a few different reasons. Primarily because it was my first opportunity to be on Broadway.
Yeah, and it's just your Broadway debut.
And it's just my Broadway debut.
Theater kid.
Yeah. And I'm a theater kid, and I went to music theater school. And so it was really full circle.
Yeah, at that point, you had just finished Drag Race, and you were the first trans contestant on Drag Race.
First out trans contestant to enter the workroom. It's so specific these days, you know? And I was out when I auditioned for the show, which I think is different than some other people's experiences.
Yeah. And there's a lot of titles to your career, you know? It's like
the pressure.
So since then, you've seen so many people follow in your footsteps. Just in the last few years, Elle Morgan Lee, Angelica Ross in Chicago, you started something.
I mean, it feels like this new wave of progressiveness, but it also, it's interesting because of the times that we're in, how we're seeing a bit of a pushback in many areas, mostly legislatively in the country. It warms my heart to be able to see these other trans performers on Broadway and in professional theater.
I want to hear about your new family. I want to hear about the Transparent family. What is this group like? You've been involved with the show for a while. Tell me about this group of people.
Working with Tina Landau is amazing. I have to admit, I do consider myself a theater kid, but I didn't really know much about her. And every single conversation that I have with her, I learned obviously something wonderful and brilliant and new to me. I'm feeling so good about the material and the creative team. It's Joey and Faith Soloway who created the original TV series. Yeah. And Faith is an amazing songwriter. Joey's an amazing writer. I knew that they both created the show. Yeah. But the musical element is what's new for this body of work and this story.
What I'm wondering is when you're creating a show that is so intentionally queer, how is it important to create the right space?
It's really important. And the show it's about a Jewish family, so it deals with Judaism and anti-Semitism.
The patriarch of the family becomes Maura.
Exactly, becomes Maura, a trans woman. And so it deals with loss and transition and dating while trans. And also there's a historical element to it that deals with the rise of anti-Semitism and, right pre-war Germany. Just being in a show that charges itself with dealing with these issues and talking about these things, I think a certain atmosphere is definitely necessary to create. Being that as though we have people who are living this, who have lived many of these experiences, who are queer, who are of trans experience, many of our experiences are very closely aligned with what we're saying and doing in the show. And so there is sort of a blurring of the lines, and it can become triggering for people. Doing the work to find ourselves means that we've accessed a lot of things and gone through a lot of things that had we not been trans, we probably would not have had to go through. That coupled with the fact that many of the actors in the room, especially the older trans actors in the room, haven't had the experience of working as a trans person. So there's a lot of emotion that's really, really accessible, and that benefits the performance, but it also means that there's certain things you have to take care of in the rehearsal process.
I'm assuming that this is the sort of the kind of work you want to be doing, very meaningful, intentional work.
Absolutely. I mean, I go back and forth. There's times where I'm like, honey, just please put me in a pumpkin and a ball gown and let me twirl and throw some glitter. Tell me when to throw the glitter. I think this is work that just needs to be done. I think it's important that we have projects and art to help change the hearts and minds of people. And so that's why I'm really excited about this show.